Part 1. The Woman They Tried to Erase. The day I broke hospital rules to see my best friend, I discovered something that made my stomach drop. Marcia Chen had been trying to contact me for 6 months, and someone had been making sure she couldn't. At the time, I didn't know who. I didn't know why. All I knew was this. A woman doesn't simply disappear after 48 years of friendship, not without a reason, and not without somebody making it happen. My name is Sharon Whitaker. I'm 67 years old, a retired therapist, a widow, no children, no siblings left, just a small condo, too many books, and memories of a husband who'd been gone nearly 12 years. Most days my life was pleasantly boring. I gardened. I volunteered. I complained about my knees. I attended book clubs where nobody actually discussed the books. The usual retirement nonsense. But one thing had never changed. Marcia Chen was 68, Asian American, sharp as a tack, funny in a way that snuck up on you. The kind of woman who could insult you and make you thank her for it. We met freshman year of college. She accidentally spilled coffee on my psychology textbook, then followed me around campus apologizing for 3 weeks. Finally, I told her if she bought me lunch, we'd call it even. She bought me lunch. We've been inseparable ever since. She was there when I got married. I was there when she buried her parents. She cried when my husband died. I cried when she told me she couldn't have children. Life happened. Years passed. But somehow we remained, which is why the silence terrified me. At first, it wasn't unusual, a week without a phone call, then 2, then a month. People get busy, people get sick, people need space. I knew all the rational explanations. I spent 40 years teaching them to patients. But instinct is a stubborn thing, and mine wouldn't leave me alone. The first time I called and got an answer, it was her nephew. Kevin. Hello? Kevin, it's Sharon. Can I speak to Marcia? A long pause, then a sigh. The kind of sigh usually reserved for telemarketers and tax audits. Aunt Marcia's resting. Oh, tell her I called. Sure. Click. That was it. No warmth. No conversation. Nothing. A week later, I called again. Kevin answered again. She's sleeping. It's 11 in the morning. She's very talented. What? Sleeping? Click. I stared at the phone. The third call lasted longer. Not because Kevin became nicer, quite the opposite. Kevin, I've known your aunt for nearly 50 years. Congratulations. I'd like to speak with her. She's busy. Doing what? Recovering. From what? Being old. I pinched the bridge of my nose. Kevin, I murmured. Sharon, he sneered. You sound annoyed. You sound retired. I blinked. What does that mean? I asked. It means you have time for this conversation, he replied. Click. Even I had to admit that one was almost funny. Almost. Something felt wrong. Very wrong. So I drove to Marcia's house. The home sat in a quiet neighborhood we'd both loved for years. A blue colonial with white shutters. A rose garden she'd spent decades nurturing. The roses looked neglected. Dead blooms drooped from stems. Weeds crowded flower beds. Marcia would have never allowed that. I knocked. The door swung open. Kevin stood there. He was 42, tall, disheveled, the kind of man who looked permanently inconvenienced by existence. His expression immediately soured. Oh, you. I smiled. Good to see you too. He stepped outside and pulled the door mostly shut behind him, blocking my view, blocking access, blocking everything. My therapist instinct screamed. Defensive posture, territorial behavior, anxiety. Can I see Marcia? No. Why not? Because she doesn't want visitors. That didn't sound like Marcia, not even remotely. Did she tell you that? She told me to tell people that. People or me? His eyes narrowed. Mostly you. I laughed. He didn't. Kevin. I softened my voice. Is she okay? He looked away, only briefly, but I noticed. Years of therapy had taught me something important. People lie with words. They confess with their eyes. She's fine. He was lying. I knew it. He knew I knew it. Neither of us said so. Then another voice appeared. Who is it? A woman emerged from inside. Elegant, well-dressed, perfect makeup, perfect smile, perfectly cold eyes. Vanessa, Marcia's niece. Unlike Kevin, Vanessa wasn't sloppy. She was polished, controlled, strategic. Every sentence felt calculated. Oh, she smiled. Sharon. Her smile somehow made me trust her less. We were just discussing Aunt Marcia. I'd like to see her. Vanessa tilted her head. Why? The question hit me like a slap. Why? Yes, because she's my best friend. Her smile widened. Sharon, people say that a lot. I stared. What? Best friend. She shrugged. Usually what they mean is they used to know someone before life moved on. The cruelty arrived so casually, I almost missed it. Almost. I've known her 48 years, and yet she isn't calling you. There it was. The knife. Clean, precise, intentional. I felt anger rise. Vanessa stepped closer. You know, Aunt Marcia used to talk about having children all the time. My stomach tightened. She would have made a wonderful mother. Something in her tone made me nervous. Then she continued. It's tragic, really. Vanessa. No, I mean it. She smiled. A woman spends her whole life wanting a family. She looked directly at me and ends up surrounded by friends instead. The words landed like a punch. Not because of what they implied about Marcia, because of what they implied about me. Widowed, childless, alone. The message was clear. You're not family. You're a substitute. I saw satisfaction in her eyes. She wanted the wound, wanted it to hurt. And unfortunately, she was skilled enough to make it happen. I left before I said something unforgivable. But on the drive home, I couldn't stop thinking. Kevin was rude. Vanessa was vicious. And neither of them wanted me anywhere near Marcia. Why? 3 weeks later, I got my answer. My phone rang at 8:17 p.m. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. Thank God I didn't. Hello. Silence. Then a weak voice. Sharon. Everything inside me stopped. Marcia. It was Marcia. I nearly dropped the phone. Marcia? A shaky laugh. Then crying. Actual crying. In 48 years, I'd heard Marcia cry fewer than 10 times. Now she couldn't stop. Thank God. My heart shattered. What happened? They won't let me talk to you. Every muscle in my body tightened. What do you mean? I'm in St. Joseph Hospital. The world blurred. Hospital? Nobody told me. Nobody called. Nobody informed me she was sick. Nobody. How long? 7 months. I nearly stopped breathing. 7 months. 7 months. My best friend had been hospitalized repeatedly for 7 months, and nobody told me. Marcia. Her voice trembled. I think they're waiting for me to die. I think they're waiting for me to die. For several seconds, I couldn't speak. I sat frozen at my kitchen table with the phone pressed against my ear, while my coffee grew cold beside me. The words echoed inside my head. Waiting for me to die. No, not Marcia. Not the woman who once survived breast cancer, a bankruptcy scare, and a broken engagement, all within 3 years. Not the woman who used to joke that stubbornness should qualify as an Olympic sport. Marcia, tell me exactly what's happening. I don't have much time. Her breathing sounded weak, labored, like every sentence cost her energy. The nurse gave me a phone. A nurse? She's helping me. I immediately liked this nurse. What's your condition? Advanced heart failure. The words landed heavily. I closed my eyes. Heart failure, not something you simply recover from. Not at 68. Why didn't anyone tell me? A bitter laugh escaped her. Because then you'd start asking questions. That sentence bothered me more than anything else. Questions about what? Before I could ask, another voice appeared in the background. A woman, urgent, whispering. Ms. Chen, we need to end the call. Marcia's breathing quickened. Sharon, I'm here. Please come. I will. Tomorrow. I promise. The line disconnected. I didn't sleep that night. At 67 years old, I thought I had experienced every variety of worry. I was wrong. because there is a unique kind of terror that comes from realizing someone you love has been suffering while strangers decided you didn't deserve to know. By 6:30 the next morning, I was already dressed. At 7:15, I was sitting in my car outside St. Joseph Hospital. The building rose 6 stories into the gray morning sky. Clean, modern, intimidating. I sat behind the steering wheel for a moment, gathering myself. Then I marched inside. Hospitals always smell the same: disinfectant, coffee, anxiety. The front lobby buzzed with activity. Doctors moved quickly. Families sat nervously. Televisions played daytime news. No one was watching. I approached the information desk. "Good morning." The receptionist smiled. "How can I help you?" "I'm looking for Marcia Chen." The smile faded slightly. She typed something into her computer, then looked up. "I'm sorry." Uh-oh. That wasn't the kind of phrase you wanted to hear. "Visitors must be approved through family." Family. There it was again. That word. The receptionist wasn't being rude. She was following policy, but still, it irritated me. "Can you tell her Sharon Whitaker is here?" The woman hesitated, then nodded. "I can try." A few minutes later, she returned, and to my surprise, she looked confused. "Ms. Chen says she absolutely wants to see you." I blinked. "Then what's the problem?" The receptionist lowered her voice. "Her nephew says no." My jaw tightened. "Her nephew?" "Yes." I took a slow breath. Therapists spend years learning emotional regulation. This was one of those moments where I needed every bit of training, because my immediate response was, "Who the hell does Kevin think he is?" Instead, I smiled politely. "Thank you." Then I headed toward the elevators. I figured if Kevin wanted a confrontation, I'd save him the trouble. The cardiac floor occupied the 5th level. When the elevator doors opened, I immediately spotted him. Kevin, slouched in a chair, feet on a table, scrolling through his phone. Somehow he looked annoyed despite doing absolutely nothing. An impressive achievement. His eyes widened when he saw me. "Oh, come on." "Good morning, Kevin." No, 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 whatever this is, no. I folded my arms. "I'm seeing Marcia." "No, you're not. You don't own her. I practically manage her life." That wasn't the same thing. And the fact he viewed them as interchangeable concerned me. Before I could answer, another voice appeared. "Kevin." We both turned. Vanessa. Perfect hair, perfect posture, perfect expression. She approached like a lawyer preparing for cross-examination. "What's happening?" "Sharon." Kevin groaned, as if my day wasn't bad enough. I couldn't help myself. "Kevin, if laziness burned calories, you'd disappear." A nearby nurse snorted. Kevin glared. Vanessa wasn't amused. She studied me carefully, then smiled. That smile again. The one that never reached her eyes. Aunt Marcia needs rest. Then why did she specifically ask for me? Vanessa's smile twitched. Only slightly, but enough, I noticed. She's emotional. She's competent. That's debatable. The words stopped me cold. Debatable? Something about that phrasing felt deliberate, dangerous, like they were laying groundwork. For what? I didn't know yet. Fortunately, someone else arrived before the argument escalated. A nurse, mid-30s, dark hair, sharp eyes, name tag, Elena Rodriguez. She looked at Vanessa, then Kevin, then me. I believe Ms. Chen requested this visitor. Vanessa crossed her arms. Family only. Nurse Elena smiled politely. It was the kind of smile professionals develop after dealing with difficult people for years. Actually, patients may choose visitors. Kevin stood. Not if family objects. That's not how that works. The silence afterward was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Kevin looked like someone had unplugged his brain. Vanessa looked furious. I immediately loved Nurse Elena. 5 minutes later, I entered Marcia's room. Nothing prepared me for what I saw. She looked smaller, frailer, older, not dramatically, but enough. Enough to make my chest ache. Machines hummed quietly nearby. Monitors blinked. Oxygen tubing rested beneath her nose. Yet when she saw me, she smiled, and suddenly I saw my friend again. Well, her voice cracked. Took you long enough. I laughed, then cried, then laughed again. The next few minutes were mostly tears. 48 years condensed into one hospital room. Eventually we settled down and started talking, really talking, about everything. Her diagnosis, her fear, the family, especially the family. The money changed them. What money? Marcia sighed. The house, investments, insurance policies. I frowned. You never cared much about money. I know. Then why do they? Her answer was immediate. Because they do. Fair enough. A knock interrupted us. The door opened, and in walked the nicest man I'd met in months. At least that's what I thought. He was maybe 45. Well-dressed, confident. Warm smile. The kind of smile that instantly lowered your blood pressure. Sorry. He held up a coffee tray. I come bearing peace offerings. Marcia brightened. Oh, good. It's David. David, her cousin. He handed me a coffee, then smiled. Sharon? That's me. I've heard about you for years. His voice was smooth, easy, comfortable. I immediately understood why people liked him. He made everyone feel included, important, seen, a rare skill, especially these days. David sat with us for nearly an hour. He listened more than he talked. He asked thoughtful questions. He seemed genuinely concerned about Marcia. And unlike Kevin and Vanessa, he actually treated her like a person, not a problem, not an asset, a person. When he learned I was a retired therapist, he grinned. That explains it. Explains what? The intimidating eye contact. I laughed. I don't have intimidating eye contact. You absolutely do. Marcia nodded. Oh, she does. Traitor, David smiled. I feel like you're analyzing me right now. Occupational hazard. Well, if you discover anything interesting, let me know. His eyes twinkled, and for the first time in over a decade, I felt something I hadn't expected. Not romance, but maybe the faint memory of flirtation, a reminder that I was still a woman, not just a widow, not just retired, not just old. It was harmless, comforting even. And looking back later, that made what happened so much worse. Because trust always hurts most when it feels earned.